Is this the last game for Aaron Rodgers as a Green Bay Packer? I don't know, but let's talk about it. What is going on, guys? We are back with another video on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Packers versus Niners. I might talk a little bit about some of the other games as well, but specifically the Packers and the Niners, because honestly, this may be the end of the road for the Packers. I mean, it's been a bit of a disappointing one for sure the last decade, really. So much talent, so much potential, and just squandered. I mean, you can make all the excuses you want. There are reasonable ones, not that it's like an unfair thing or a ref screwing them over type of thing, but just, you know, some of the luck some other players have had, some other teams have had, you apply a little bit of that luck to the Packers, and who knows how many Super Bowls they win. You know, Seattle, the choke against Seattle, there's so many things. There's like 5 or 6 significant things that you change even one of, and they go on to the Super Bowl. Maybe win it, maybe not, but they at least make it. Same with last year against Tampa. I mean, you had the jump ball situation against Savage on 3rd down. It was caught on the, you know, kind of tip up by Godwin, like 50 yards down the field. I mean, that's just once in a lifetime, you know, crazy play. You know, you had Kevin King and a bunch of different things. I know I said, can't, you know, try not to make excuses, but here I am making damn excuses. But just so much failure with all the potential in the world. You know, everyone thinking you're one of the best, you're the favorites and all that. And similar this year, but I mean, you look at Green Bay this season in general, and especially over the last like month or so. Well, last month of actual playing time. It seems like Green Bay hasn't played a real meaningful game in multiple months. And the Packers are nowhere near as strong as they say they are, or people think they are. I wouldn't have them as the number one on the power rankings. I don't even know if I would have them above the Niners. If you look at the way the Niners have played this year, I mean, their ranks are higher in general by a significant margin. I mean, the Niners defense is a lot better than Green Bay's. Like, it's not even close. The Niners pass game isn't much worse than Green Bay's, and the Niners run game is so much better. And if you look at the defenses, the yards themselves look, you know, Packers aren't that bad on yards on defense, but you look deeper into the more important things, and Green Bay is almost dead last in yards per carry allowed, which is literally what lost them the championship game against San Fran, you know, years recently. And they're literally playing the same team that may even be better. I mean, the cornerback group, or at least playing-wise, isn't as good as they have been in this season. So Green Bay, yes, they might have a couple of additions themselves, you know, playing with David Bakhtiari this time around, playing with a guy like A.J. Dillon might change some things. But at the same time, you got some guys that are coming off of injury. Speaking of David Bakhtiari, you got some guys that aren't back yet from injury. And, I mean, I just don't think it matches up well. I'm not saying that I believe the Packers are going to lose, but, I mean, if I, once again, I use this, you know, analogy, if I had $1,000 to bet on which team would win, I think I may be betting on the Niners. I mean, if you look on paper, Green Bay just doesn't match up well. This could be another one of those situations, similar to the Patriots versus, I believe it was the Bills, maybe for different reasons because of the wind. It could be one of those games where Jimmy Garoppolo, similar to the championship game as well, only throws a few times. San Fran's run defense is solid, and Green Bay's rushing attack really isn't as potent as some would believe it to be, especially considering, once again, that makeshift offensive line. They are getting, you know, Packers are getting some players back that are, you know, finally healthy. But once again, a little bit of rust on top of that. Green Bay, after the bye, isn't really historically great like you're supposed to be because you're, you know, healthier, you're healed up, you didn't have to play and all that, and you had time to, you know, game plan. I mean, this just spells disaster. And once again, we've already talked about it. I mean, Rodgers staying may be literally impossible. Right now, Rodgers wins the Super Bowl, he may already be thinking about retirement. He may already thinking about leaving the team with a Super Bowl win. If he loses in the divisional round against a team he's already lost to in the championship round, there is zero chance he returns. If he returns, I don't know. I don't know what the offseason thing was. I really don't know, because you got to imagine this time around, unless Cobb's willing to take a super low deal, there's just no way Green Bay, like, you can't keep Cobb. You just can't keep him for anywhere near what, you know, the Texans were willing to give him. You know, you have a lot of cap issues in general. even if you have people on board wanting to stay, you're at minimum losing Preston and Za'Darius, and even then, with how negative we are in cap, I don't even know if you can afford Davante still. And at this situation, it kind of seems like Rodgers is going to leave and the Packers do the dirty deed of tagging Davante. What situation will that be in? The Green Bay Packers are going to go from, one of the best, one of the highest seeds, like the most promising, to just a pit of despair, a pit of desperation. I mean, I don't know what Jordan Love looked like under a full season as starter, but I mean, us fans can't have really liked what they seen from the little bit we did see from him this year. I mean, once again, going back to, how the team is going to play against San Fran, with the starters in, they were losing to Detroit. Once again, a team that doesn't have anything to lose, at all. But at the same time, some of the things Detroit was doing is some of the things that the Niners have been doing. A lot of end-around stuff and quote-unquote trick plays. And I just think Green Bay matches up so poorly against a team that likes to go short and likes to attack the flats. And, whether it's a throwing to the flats or, once again, those end-arounds and whatnot. This is probably, I know everyone's saying it, it's like such an easy thing to say, but this is easily the worst poll that Green Bay could have had by a mile. There is no other team in the NFC, maybe in general, let alone the playoff picture, that would have been worse. Maybe Dallas, I suppose, because they have a good run game as well. Dallas or San Fran are literally the two worst they could poll, and it's not even close. And once again, San Fran is getting healthy. They look to have Bosa most likely back. Jimmy Garoppolo might be a little injured, so we'll see what happens there, but will he even need to throw it at all? Fred Warner, I believe, is going to be back. I think he's going to be playing a little injured as well, but I mean, this is just not a matchup that looks good for Green Bay at all. I mean, Rodgers isn't playing at some outstanding otherworldly level right now. He's likely going to win MVP, but if you were to delve deep and deep and deep into the stats and what kind of offense Green Bay runs and what he's required to do, you would probably see that he isn't the MVP, to be honest. He's probably top 3 player, but MVP, I wouldn't say so. I would probably say Brady or Cup, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, a really bad look. Once again, the pass coverage for San Fran, super underrated. They have a lot of good players in the secondary. You wouldn't expect it, but if you actually look at the numbers, they have played that way. Might be because of maybe pressure or Fred Warner and whatnot, but overall, their numbers look great. Once again, the big thing I'm worried about is the yards per carry that they have versus Green Bay's yards per carry allowed. It is a recipe for disaster. And if I'm going to guess what this one is, I'm going to say it's kind of similar to what happened in the past, maybe like a 34-27, and it is Rodgers' last game. Davante gets placed under the tag. It's an ugly situation. He decides to hold out maybe. I mean, it's rough, dude. It is a rough look. I mean, Davante, the way he even approaches the team, he feels really reserved. I don't know. I'm not in that situation, but he seems reserved. Like he's almost like a get in and get out type of player. It's just strange. The team is in, like I said, financial hell with losing Za'Darius and probably Preston just even have a chance to keep Davante and or Rodgers. The defense in general needs a lot of upgrades. You're going to be losing guys like Rasul. You're going to be losing guys like Devondre. This is literally the year to win a Super Bowl. If they win the Super Bowl this year, I would say their odds of repeating probably drop to the lowest ever after a Super Bowl victory. It wouldn't surprise me because, once again, there's so many players that are going to be gone. I think Davante, I don't even know, outside of maybe Amari Rodgers, I think there's no wide receivers on contract going forward, if I'm not mistaken. You're going to lose Tanyan, not that he even played that much this year, half the season gone to do it a season ender. Elton Jenkins is going to have to be paid soon enough, I suppose. Jair needs to be paid. It's a rough spot for Green Bay looking forward, and with this matchup coming up, I don't know, dude. This could be the last day I have as a Packers fan of happiness for the next 2 decades. It's actually crazy, but that legitimately could be the case. And I am not looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I do want to take a look, though, maybe at some of the other matchups. Once again, reviewing what I said was going to happen. Of course, we did not have the Niners beating Dallas, but I did say they were the dark horse for sure. And then I believe everyone else we predicted, right? But yeah, Tennessee, I honestly think they look to probably bully Cincinnati around with their offense versus the other side's defense. And then as far as Tennessee's defense and Cincinnati's offense, I think it could be a decent one for the Bengals, but I don't know. I just think Bengals defense, kind of similar maybe to Green Bay, is going to be in for too tough a task against a running game that is going to have Derrick Henry back. I think the Bengals are almost in a similar spot as Green Bay here. Maybe a little bit more pass happy, but I like the Titans to win that game, even though I said the Bengals and the Packers in the Super Bowl against each other both could be eliminated this weekend, and it would not surprise me one bit. And I suppose, at least for the Bengals' sake, it is probably the favorite for them to lose. As far as Rams versus Buccaneers, I wouldn't ever bet against Brady, but if you were to say on paper what's likely to happen, I think the Rams are going to overwhelm the Buccaneers' pass defense, which, once again, that defense has improved a little bit here in the playoffs. They started off the season all right, sold, got a little bit better, and then, here we are. Tampa's offense, quick passing, as you would expect. Over the middle, the Rams are a bit vulnerable, but with Jensen likely out, Wirfs likely out, that offensive line is going to be in some hurt. Honestly, if Brady isn't under pressure at least like 10 to 15% higher than the league average, somebody test that offensive line for drugs. Somebody check the refs for not calling flags, because it's just simply put, they are not ready for that Rams pass rush whatsoever. The coverage for the Rams, at least with Ramsey, is pretty damn solid. I just think that the Buccaneers with those injuries, they're just too many injuries at the worst time against a pretty tough team. I mean, Stafford is also a pretty key factor. Not how much he can do, but how much he won't do wrong with interceptions. I think they can probably not run the ball super well against Tampa, but you run the ball a little bit, throw it underneath to Kupp. They're a good matchup for Tampa to lose. I'd say the Rams win 31-27. And then the Bills-Chiefs, this is going to be a tough one. But once again, I think it's funny because last week I had like all the home teams winning. This week, it's like all the away teams pretty much, outside of the Bengals, who once again, I don't know, maybe they will win. But the favorites for me are pretty much the away teams. As Buffalo, I think, runs all over KC. The question is, can Buffalo get pressure on the Chiefs' offensive line? Or, I guess that's not the point. I guess you get the quarterback. But can the Bills keep up with the speed of KC? Do they have the talent to stop Travis Kelce? I don't know, but that should be the most fun game of the weekend, unless you enjoy seeing Rodgers lose and potentially Brady lose. But far as neutral standing, you don't care who wins or who loses. Pure fun should be the Bills versus the Chiefs. This should be a really high-scoring game. Maybe honestly, 41-38 Bills. That's the way I would see it. I just don't know how the Chiefs are equipped to stop Josh Allen from running. They have a decent enough passing game, but just in general, the run game of the Bills, it's not even that crazy. It's just the Chiefs' run defense is just so suspect. I don't care if you got Chris Jones or not. Yeah, I mean, pretty much to review, Bengals look all right against the Titans, but I think the Titans are a bit stronger, physically stronger, not just roster talent, physically stronger. Might push Cincinnati around a little bit, especially after, I believe, Trey Hendrickson's coming off of an injury. But if the Bengals can beat the Titans, they look really good to go to the Super Bowl. The Bills, I know they killed the Patriots, and that's probably a lot of the recency bias, but they look insanely strong, maybe even the strongest in the entire league right now remaining. I think they win. It's definitely a matchup of two teams that are the favorites to win it all. And then once again, the Rams, just too good of a defense against an injured Tampa offense. But maybe Tampa's defense can force a couple of picks against Stafford. And then San Fran, just too well matched for the Packers across the board. But can Rodgers outplay the 49ers offense? That's the question. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough task for the Packers for sure. And once again, a 10-7 team that just, honestly, for the NFC side, looks like potentially the best one remaining. I mean, it is a tough squad. Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, I've never really seen a team that can get away without really having to have a threat at quarterback like the Niners. I mean, the Titans are kind of there. The Niners, Jimmy Garoppolo can make some smart plays and some good plays, but I mean, it's just crazy to me. And unless the Packers force some turnovers, I'm really worried for their chances. That's pretty much it, though. If you guys enjoy this one, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Let me know what you guys thought. Maybe I'm just off my rocker and you're like, clearly Green Bay's winning. What the hell are you talking about? Maybe Bosa actually won't clear concussion protocol, even though I think him and Fred, and I think even Jimmy might have been full participants Thursday, was it? I think. And yeah, I mean, it should be a good weekend. I'm going to be nervous as hell because, once again, could be the last time I ever see Rodgers, maybe even Davante Adams in a Packers jersey. And I sure as hell won't see them at the Pro Bowl. There's no shot if they lose this game. Any of them are going to the Pro Bowl. Maybe Davante, but yeah, that's a fun and scary weekend coming up. Hopefully you guys enjoy, though. Like I said, I don't know if there's going to be another video today. Maybe a second channel video, perhaps. Stream tomorrow, potentially. Once again, depends on how that Packers game kind of ends up. And we'll have a rebuild tomorrow pretty early, maybe like 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!